I'm here with Morgan Honey and Jared White from the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee that's coming in the next few weeks. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing wonderful.
That's good. And what can you tell me about the theatrical play?
It's basically just a group of kids who have come to this spelling bee, try their hardest to win, and each one of them has something, a conflict that happens or something goes wrong, but it's just this hilarious show about a bunch of kids trying to spell.
Very much a coming-of-age story about the awkward situations that we usually face in life as we become teenagers, and the hidden struggles that kids usually have with personal lives or internal conflicts with themselves. Yeah.
Can either of you relate to the play in any form or fashion that'll help your performances?
Yeah. My character's name is Logan. She's very anxiety-ridden. She has two dads who are constantly over her head. You know, she's very pressured, feels like she has to live up to what her dads want her to be, and she's the youngest of the group, so, I mean, I relate to her in that way that sometimes life can get the best of you.
Okay.
So.
What about you, Jared?
Yes, I play the character of Chip, who is a Boy Scout, and he's a character who everything in life comes to him very naturally, very easily, and so he expects to just win the bee, no problem at all. And he's going through puberty at the time, and his attention starts to become distracted and shifts more towards girls, and how he struggles with that. And I very much can relate to that, because at that age I very much was girl crazy and still am girl crazy to a large extent.
Thank you for sharing. About the auditioning process, was there anything unique or different than other theatrical plays that you guys have auditioned for?
Not really. Sometimes plays do cold reads with where you just get a script. They ask you to read a certain line or two. Musicals, most musicals that I've auditioned for haven't had me do cold reads. I don't know, Jared, you've probably done more musical auditions than I have.
This is the 8th musical I think I've done. I've been a part of since my younger years, and one thing that has been different about this musical than in past is our director, Kelsey Cooper, who's an adjunct faculty here for the theater department. She's very laid back, and she's very warm and welcoming to the cast and to the crew, and so there was a much different atmosphere going into the rehearsal or audition process, and then eventually into the rehearsal process.
I had a gain on that. She was actually my high school theater director, so I went in knowing what to expect.
Well, that's good. And so as far as the show itself, what is it for mature audiences or for all audiences? What about
It's more for mature audiences. I would say not recommended for anyone under the age of 13.
Yes.
Okay.
It has some mature language and content in it, but it's a good show and it's really funny.
And all of our characters are around 12, 13, 14 in the show. So kids who come to see the show that are about that age, while it does have a little bit of language and a little bit of mature content, they definitely will easily be able to identify with the struggles each of the characters
My character's
go through.
the youngest at 10,
Yes.
so.
And so what about the other actors in the play? Are any of them unique or anything, or do they bring anything to the show that's very different than what you guys have experienced with other people?
They're all amazing. They are. I love each and every one of them. I mean, I've worked with most of them before, and they just are close to my heart.
But say the chemistry that our cast has outside of the show rehearsal as friends in the theater department really helps bridge over to the teamwork and ethics that we bring to the rehearsal, because we're so close. We know how to spontaneously work off each other with comedic timing and with jokes, and so it keeps a very lively atmosphere during the show, and so it's greatly appreciated.
So the show itself, when will it be taking place, and for how long will it be running for?
It's going to open Tuesday, October 20th, and it's going to run through the 25th. On the 20th or the 24th, it will be at 8 p.m., and the 25th will be the matinee at 3 p.m.
Yes. Okay. All right. And with the show, coming out in the beginning of school starting, do you think that it's a show that a lot of students on campus can relate to, or is it for, I would say, adults?
I would definitely say it's a show they can relate to. One of the great aspects about this show is there it's a lot of leeway written into the script for improvisation. So this show was written back around 2008, 2009, when President Bush was in office, and so there's references in the script to what was going on politically and pop culturally during the time. But the script says you can change that depending on what's popular and current in our country. And so I believe that any of the students in college right now who come to see this show, a lot of the references we throw in as our characters and a lot of the things that we bring ourselves, they'll definitely be able to relate to.
Yes, my character especially has a lot of lines about pop culture references. She's very politically savvy, and for a 10-year-old, she's smarter than the average. So she has a lot of lines about pop culture.
Oh yes.
So it's.
Do you find yourself replacing part of the script that you can ad-lib? Do you find yourself replacing or keeping some things that are the same?
Oh, there's definitely some things that we keep there the same, and there's definitely aspects that we do ad-lib. And the script says to change stuff at your will as you find necessary to create the best show possible.
It's a very flexible show.
It is very flexible.
You mentioned the script, and I was going to ask you about the playwrights. Are there any are they special, unique people that are the playwrights or the script that written the script? Excuse me.
Not that I know of. I don't remember their names, honestly.
That's fine. Regarding the show, would you say that, how long would you say that it runs for?
It currently runs about an hour and a half. It's definitely a shorter musical, what one would consider a one-act musical. There is not an intermission as well, so it's a lot of fun. It goes by very quick too. It's just a big ball of fun from beginning to end.
Very much so.
What about tickets? How can people who are interested in coming to see this show purchase tickets?
You can contact the University Playhouse box office. I do not have the number with me. I work in there. I should know it. But you can contact the University Playhouse box office. Adult tickets are $15. Senior tickets are $10. And then student tickets with a valid university ID are $5, and that includes children under the age of 18.
Okay. Now I was curious, going to ask you guys about with this show taking place. How do you find yourselves being able to deal with it and also school? Like, would you say that certain parts of school help the show at all, or in these aspects?
Well, as the head of the theater department where I went to undergrad said, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so time management's definitely your best friend when you get into college.
Yeah, especially working in the theater department, I personally have had to find, that right time space where I can get everything done properly and, work with the theater schedule as well, because ultimately my goal is to be someone doing theater for the rest of my life. And so I've had to work around my schedule with that and theater, but it works out in the end.
It's a challenge, but like all majors in career fields that people our age find interest in going into, you put forth the effort for what you love most, and this is what we love most. Yeah.
And we're still here with Jared White and Morgan Honey, and they're with the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee that will take place on October 20th. Also, more about the spelling bee. Oh, sorry.
I've been to a play on the campus before. Went to the puppet play they did last semester, and one of the historical ones they did.
I'm sorry.
The play
I'm so sorry about that.
basically just about all these kids at a spelling bee and about their stories, about their aspirations in life, and just sort of growing up in a single moment in the spelling bee.
For plays, I always enjoy going there, relaxing for a while and watching other people perform.